why does awareness seem so boring? Why does it seem so bland, so neutral? This is because what you're doing is you're still looking for an object. You're still looking for awareness to be some kind of object that has some kind of quality. And if you believe that awareness is an object that has some kind of quality, then you're always going to miss the mark, because what you'll be finding is a blank state. So if you describe it as dry, neutral, boring, all these qualities, these are objective qualities that we would use to describe a blank state. So what you're doing is you're perceiving a blank state, which is still an object, and then you're describing the blank state with these qualities. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that awareness has no qualities, you see? So if we try to describe awareness via positive qualities, then what we're going to do is we're going to overlook. Awareness isn't neutral. You see, neutral is still a quality that describes an object. Awareness is transcendent of neutrality. There's no peaks and troughs, and in the middle there's a neutrality. Awareness isn't in the center of anything. It's absolutely transcendent of that, right? Your being, whatever you are, whatever you refer to, that which perceives, which is the source of reality, is ultimately transcendent of all experience, transcendent of all objective qualities. So we cannot give it an objective quality. This is why happiness, when I use the word, when they talk about awareness, consciousness, bliss, Satchitananda, it's not saying awareness is blissful and happy and positive. What it's describing is the lack of resistance. Awareness is the lack of resistance. Awareness isn't just the lack of resistance, but awareness cannot resist. And this is why the word happiness is described as a negative. Happiness isn't pointing to some kind of objective quality. It's pointing to the lack of objective quality. Happiness is like using the word whole. When you say the word whole, we're describing the absence. When I say whole, not whole collective, I mean HOLE, the circle typically that we find in a wall or some type of object. We're describing the absence of the wall. If there's a hole in the wall, there's no hole in the wall. The whole is the absence of the wall. The same as when we use the word happiness, we're describing the absence of resistance. So awareness is the absence, has the quality of the absence of resistance, because it cannot resist anything. It's pure existence itself. So if we are looking for a state, if we're saying awareness is boring, awareness is this, we're obviously having some expectation about how we should feel when we experience our being. And if we have an expectation about how we should feel when we experience our being, then we're going to superimpose that awareness is some kind of state, that we should then experience some kind of state. And then we put another condition on unconditional happiness. So we put another condition on it. And then we try to find that condition. Where is the condition? I can't find it. You see? But it doesn't make sense to put a condition on something that is unconditional. So we need to just look out for that tiny little thing. When we're looking for another state, awareness shouldn't be a state. It's not a state of awareness. Awareness is that which all states are contained. So awareness is the absence of states. You see, it's the stateless state. It's the primary condition of our mind. And it's also the source of our mind. Just like the image on your phone, wherever you're watching this right now, the source of that is the screen you're watching it on. The screen isn't a state of the phone. The screen is the absence of states. All states are contained then in the screen. You could be on another app, you could be on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're on. That's the state of the phone, that's the condition, but the screen is transcendent of the state of the phone. You see, the screen is the hardware, and the software is inside it, and that's contained with. I'm not saying consciousness is the hardware. You could say it's the ultimate source, though, of the software that it's contained within. So, with that being said, if awareness is feeling neutral, boring, unfulfilling, it's because you're still having a condition on happiness, and you're still not truly experiencing your being without any expectation of what that experience should be. The second thing that's important to understand is that if you can experience awareness, but typically Most people know their awareness, but they don't realize yet that that awareness is infinite. Or maybe they have an intuition, or maybe they've experienced it in the past that their awareness is infinite, but they currently don't feel unlimited. So what we do is we try to then, we say, yes, I experience awareness, but I still suffer. Well, yes, because you still believe you're limited. Just experiencing awareness is not going to, because if you still believe that awareness is contained in the head, inside the brain, inside the body, that's looking out into an external world, then you're going to perpetuate the trauma of separation, which is that very belief that you are limited, contained inside the body and looking out into a separate world. You see, the goal is not to be connected with a separate world. I am one with the separate world. That's not the goal. The goal is to realize that there is no separation, period. There is no separate world to be separate from, to be one with. So this is another way that we can sabotage ourselves on the path and believe that, oh, I've done the correct thing. This one teacher said that I should have gone to my being or abided in it as awareness, and for some reason I'm still not happy. Do you see what I mean? You've completely mistaken it. By definition of, for some reason I'm still not happy. What do you mean? What were you expecting to achieve from being with your being? Your being is not something you should just go to because that's where happiness is. You should already understand that's where happiness is, because it is the nature of your being. So the real goal is to understand. The goal is understanding. Understanding what you are. Then you see, oh, what I am is not, it has no objective quality. Everything that I'm experiencing is made of this pure awareness. It says no to nothing. It says no to no experience. It's inviting every experience. Oh, invitingness, welcomingness. These are qualities that whenever I experience welcomingness, whenever I experience acceptance, I actually feel at peace. Oh, I see that this welcoming awareness is perpetually in this welcoming state, this accepting state, which isn't a state for awareness. It's the natural condition, which means that if we were to be that, then we are always in this allowing state, this welcoming, inviting, accepting state, and that's where peace is. Therefore, that's, if people don't grieve, when people think the grieving is the suffering, but no, the suffering is preventing us from grieving. And once we remove the resistance, then we can grieve. You see, it's a perfect example of something that is just raw emotion that we don't need to resist. So I hope this brings some clarity. I hope this brings some simplicity to your path. So to summarize everything, be in the understanding of what you are. First, understand truly what you are. First, understand firstly that you are awareness. Then see, is that awareness infinite or limited? You need to see that's the most important part. Then once you recognize that, you're not going to worry anymore about if awareness is boring or not, because you can see the qualities of awareness, the objective qualities, but the lack of objective qualities is the pure acceptance, and the pure acceptance is always accompanied with peace. So if we're being that, which is effortless, the minute we try to be that, we stop being it. So don't try, just know that, continue living your life in peace. It's very simple. I have a free community. The link is in the description. I do free meditations every single week. It's filled with amazing people. I'd love to see you there. Have a beautiful day, guys. Take care.